The next step into doing the valve job on this little Honda Ruckus is to go down and buy some fine metal grinding compound, and this is coarse metal. This takes off more. This is more finely ground. As you can see in this illustration, it shows where the valves are already set in place, and this gentleman is using a rubber suction cup on the end of the valve, which is right here, and he's using his two hands to turn the valve. Okay, and what we're going to do it backwards. Okay, we can put the valve in right here into the valve guide, and you can see that's the valve guide right there. If you need to replace the valve guide, each valve has one, but you need to lightly pound it from this side out to the other side and then put it in the exact same way. Now what we're doing here, I'm going to see if I can use a magnifying glass. It might work, might not, with the refraction. That's kind of cool, isn't it? The valve has a solid metal ring around it, and that's called a seat, and that's put in there when the valve seat or ring is heated up or cooled, excuse me. It's cooled, and then the outside of the head is heated up, so the outside expands, the inside of the ring contracts, it drops in there, and then it expands and sticks. And there is one here in the intake, which is right here, the larger one, and the exhaust. Now, in looking over the valve seats, they have to seal, and they have to seal airtight. And that's basically all we're doing, is on the combustion stroke of the piston, when it comes up, both the exhaust and the intake valve have got to be sealed tight for maximum performance. Not really, there's not really that much performance in these little motors. It wouldn't be called performance. What it would be called is maximum efficiency. So if I can get that in there. Now we're going to check the valve guides. The valve guides are circular and hollow, and the valves run up and down in them. What we want to look for is excessive play. So we turn this over again. Play would be where we have the end of the valve here, and we want to move it around. What we want to do is we want to move it side to side and see if there's any excessive play in it. I know all you see is my fingers, and it's really it's a bullshit video production. But with these little motors, you know, and I'm a giant too, so you've seen me reading my Bible. So you want to check those and see if they're if they hang up or they're catching, and your clearance is okay. And these are all right. They're $11 a piece. Okay, and with these little motors, remember it's basically, these little Honda 50 motors are in most weed whackers, so it's not really like it's 50,000 horsepower tugboat motor. With the exhaust valve, it'll be a little different because I have to clean out this port right here. Let's see if that'll work a little bit better. I don't know. I haven't used a micro or a glass like that, so we're going to see if that'll work. It may not work. It may refract off the lens and not work. But I have to clean up this whole port right down into here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a rubber hose like this one, and this cylinder head right here weighs about, I don't know, 5-6 pounds, 3 kilos, something like that. I don't know how many stones. And we're going to take the end of one of these hoses and I'm going to stick it on the end of one of the valves right here, okay? And instead of taking both hands like this guy has, and he's got a wooden dowel and he's rubbing he's basically grinding the valve into the valve seat. But we're going to take this nice and slow, and I know it's 2:30 in the morning. I know I'm slow, but I think people would really appreciate me going slower and explaining more. You can always speed it up rather than go very quickly and you say, wait, what's that for? Wait a minute, what? Damn, he didn't explain that. You know, I don't get it. Well, if you don't get it, then it's really, I have failed. I have failed you, Luke. Luke, I failed. It's 2:30 in the morning, okay? Well, so now that the valves are in there, and I'm not going to do it tonight because I'm too tired, I want to go to bed, but I will take one of these valves. Let's start with let's see if I can get them out here. We push one out and see how well it'll come out on the of the guide. And I've looked at this valve seat and it looks pretty clean all the way around. And that valve seat is cut at a certain angle, and I don't know what the angle is, but that is cut at a certain angle. And this valve right here is cut at a certain angle. And all we want to do basically is to take some of this compound right here. We'll start with the coarse grade, and it's got grease in it, grease and silicone carbide. The grease is used to, what the hell is that? Is it gonna cut it or something? Did I cut it? No, it's leaking, I think. The grease basically lets the compound stay in this one area. I'm going to put a little bit on the end here, right here. And then I have another little trick that I want to show you. Jesus, it's 7:58, and it must be next video.